Hi and welcome to this year's virtual flower show. Here's a quick guide to where to find things in the show. Our 3D virtual floral hall is on our website. You can move around the showground and see all our exhibitors' displays. We now have over 100 videos on our YouTube channel, with lots of gardening information, tips and guides for you to enjoy. Don't forget to support our independent growers and exhibitors by visiting the sales tent on our website. And join our Facebook Live talks throughout the 15th to 16th of April.
Want some top recommendations for your garden and houseplants?
Our gardening experts share their plants of the year with us.
I'm here in the nursery with one of my absolute favourite citrus trees. I hope you can hear and see how much the bees are loving these trees too. But these are blood orange, sweet citrus orange that produces dark red flesh under the right conditions. At this time of year, you can see they are absolutely covered in blossom. And if you were here in the nursery with me too, you'd be able to smell how good they smell. Over the course of the summer, these blossoms will start to drop, and then some of them will set fruits, and these fruits will take quite a long time to ripen. It won't be till about Christmas time that they're nice, big, fat fruits. And in order to get the difference right in temperature, you need to make sure that they have really quite cold nights and quite warm days. That's how you get the nice dark red colour of the flesh. So the best blood oranges often come from Sicily, around Mount Etna, where they can get the difference in nighttime temperatures, quite cool at night and quite warm in the day. To do that at home, you need a nice, bright, cool place to keep them. So somewhere that will be hot in the day, like a lean-to conservatory, or an unheated glass house or porch, and then quite cool at night, down to about 4 or 5 degrees overnight, and then you get the best, juiciest, red, fleshed blood oranges.
Here at Ottershaw Cacti, we are launching 2 new Aeonium hybrids at Chelsea this year. The first is Aeonium Jubilee, which makes a fantastic lollipop-shaped plant with thick, dark, glossy leaves. Individual heads are 18 centimetres across and the plant stands at 35 centimetres tall after 3 years. The second plant is Aeonium Colossus. This plant has a massive head measuring 25 centimetres across and stands 40 centimetres tall after 3 years. Both these plants will be for sale at the Chelsea Flower Show and on our website from the end of May.
Hello, Rosie Hardy here from Hardy's Cottage Garden Plants. I've got 3 different varieties here of Veronica gentianoides, really wonderful spring flowering perennials, and they are great plants. Veronica gentianoides dark form can always be seen to be different from the others because it has long, narrow green leaves and these beautiful, dark, almost purple buds coming up, and it's going to be a lovely, lovely plant. This one, Veronica gentianoides Tissington White, got its name because Rob's grandfather used to be the gardener at Tissington Hall, and he took this plant with him to every single garden that he went to. And when we named it in 1996, we decided to honour it with the name of Tissington White. Beautiful spires of flower on here. Flowers are nearly white with blue stamens. Lovely big rounded leaf on this one. And then the last one to come into flower is Intermedia, and this is a cross between Tissington White and one of the other gentianoides. Again, pale blue and really lovely plant, flowering late May.
They'll sit lovely on a shelf in your pond, down to about a foot, and the leaves will quickly grow up and cover the surface. Later, they can go a little bit further down. They should give you flower from March, April now, through to May or even June, dependent on the sunny weather. So water hawthorn are going to be available to dispatch, available for you to purchase right just now.
Good morning, Matt Soper here, Hampshire Carnivorous Plants, and my favourite plant at this time of year has to be these Nepenthes Lowii cross ventricosa. Really easy to grow compared with the Lowii parent of this hybrid. Pictures start off this orangey yellow colour with a stripy peristome and later darkens this mahogany red colour. These are absolutely spectacular, well worth a go and available on the website.
This is a lovely variety bred by us. It's called Tiarella Raspberry Sunday. It has beautiful pink buds that open to white star-like flowers on dark upright stems. It's a hardy plant and great for the part shade or full shade. We think it's a real winner.
Dibley's Nursery's plant of the year is this Begonia, Begonia Helter Skelter. It's a new variety which we've introduced. We've bred it on our nursery, and it has this lovely spiral where the leaf goes around and around to the centre. The markings are really defined with blacks and reds and spots around the outside. As a Begonia Rex, it needs good light, like an east or west facing windowsill, a moderate amount of water, wait until the compost is slightly dry and then re-water. But it has this lovely foliage, and you'll have the foliage this colour all year round.
Here's a chance to see some of our nursery's gold medal winning displays. You'll find all our gardening Q&A sessions on our YouTube channel. Here's an extract from last year's show.
Hello and welcome to the Virtual Flower Show 2021. My name's Martin Fish, and joining me today for the question and answer session, we've got some top exhibitors from around the UK. Probably see at all the flower shows with their wonderful exhibits. So in no particular order, we've got Rosie Hardy from Hardy's Cottage Garden Plants. We've got Matt Soper, Hampshire Carnivorous Plants, Vicky Fox from Plant A Go Go, Lynn Dibley from Dibley's Houseplant Specialist, Mark McDonald from Todd's Botanics, and Mark Lyman from the Delphinium Society. So that's our panel for today. We've had lots of questions sent in, so we're going to do our very best to answer them all for you. So the first one comes from Kay, and it's about bamboo. So I think this one might be for you, Mark. Kay, she loves bamboo, but how does she stop her neighbour's huge plants growing up through her garden? I'm sure this is a problem lots of people get. So how do you control vigorous bamboo?
Well, a physical barrier is the only answer, really. There are materials you can buy, a bamboo root barrier, that are about 1/2 metre in depth and a millimetre or 2 millimetres wide, like a plastic sheet, but very thick. And you can dig a trench and put that in to protect where you don't want the bamboo to grow. Really, it's better if it encircles the whole plant than just growing along a boundary, because eventually it will go around the boundary. And it's to stop the rhizomes of the bamboo growing. So you want it to go in the ground to a depth of about 45 centimetres and have about 5 centimetres protruding. So any that run along the top, you can cut off. But hopefully they've not planted too invasive a species. But that's a physical barrier is the only way.
So if it's coming in from the neighbour's garden, presumably she can't obviously go in the neighbour's garden, dig a trench around their bamboo. So it's going to have to be just on the inside of her boundary and just dig a trench and put it in vertically. That's the only way it will work, isn't it?
Unless she's a nighttime gardener, yeah, that's the only way.
Okay, Kate, good luck with that. Anybody else had any experience of bamboo they would like to? I think we're all keeping away from vigorous bamboo, aren't we? Okay, that's great. We've got one here. This is from Mart. And Mart says, can you give me a few ideas for tall growing plants that will be happy in pots? Then the pots are about a foot square and similar depth. Flowering would be good, but he doesn't mind if they are evergreens. So I think probably we can get lots of suggestions here from lots of people. So we've got some pots that we can have a go at filling. So any ideas? Who wants to start? Vicky, go on, you have a go then. So we've got these.
What about a Photinia red robin? Are they nice? They're lovely in pots. You can grow them well in pots. Nice red foliage, shiny and look good. You can trim them if you get too big.
Yeah, and it's going to be there all year round, isn't it, as well? I mean, they're only a foot square, so that's going to limit the size of the growth of it slightly, isn't it? But
trim it though, can't you?
Yeah, you can trim it and it will almost bonsai it at the same time. I should also just add to people, we're now joined by Alec White as well. Alec's joined us from Primrose Hall Peonies, so thanks for popping in, Alec. So any other ideas? What about Rosie? Flowering, herbaceous. Could we put some herbaceous in there?
Yeah, there are quite a lot of the later season herbaceous which are tall, which would certainly be fine in containers. Any of the rudbeckias, any of the late season Cynthia tritons or Michaelmas daisies will be fine in a container. You can put lupins, you can put delphiniums in a container if you want to, but you've got to remember, you've got to keep your feed correct, you've got to keep them watered correctly. The biggest problem in pots is that people overwater and you end up drowning the plants. So you've got to be really sure that you've got adequate drainage there and that you're making sure that you don't overwater them, and making sure that you're not necessarily got the pots in full sun. Another thing that can be, a small container like that in full sun can get very, very hot in the root zone. So they need to be aware that the container itself is probably better shady, and then the plants can be in the sun.
Okay. Anybody else got any suggestions for growing something? I think we want something hardy, probably, that's going to be able to stand out all year round in this 12-inch container.
I was going to say, if it's just seasonal, just for the summer, you could probably put some nice shrub begonias, which tend to grow to about 2 to 3 feet in a season. And if they're in part shade, you would still get flowers in them from them sort of later on in the summer as well.
Yeah, that would look good, wouldn't it? Absolutely. I mean, I've got some pots with camellias in them, and they're looking wonderful at the minute, although I must admit the frost over the last week has damaged them a little bit, or the flowers. But my worry is for a camellia, I'm not sure that a foot square is going to be big enough. You get it in there for a couple of years, but then it's going to be too small. So it would be good if you could get some pots slightly bigger, then it sky's the limit, of course. You can put a little arrangements of plants, but hopefully that's giving you a bit of an idea of what you can do. So thank you. This one is from Elspeth, and it's about tomatoes, growing tomatoes. She wants to know what can be used to replace the now banned chestnut compound to control damping off on seedlings and mainly tomatoes that she's growing. So chestnut compound was a copper-based fungicide that you would drench onto any types of seedlings, and it would stop damping off, which is when they just get a fungal disease and collapse, often if they get a bit damp or over warm. So that's gone. So do any of you know of anything else that we can treat not only tomato seedlings but other seedlings with as a preventative fungicide to stop them rotting off?
I wonder if you could try SB Plant Invigorator. That has some antifungal effect on it from it, but also getting the conditions right as well. More air movements, less humidity, any of those would help as well.
Yeah. Definitely on the cultural side, I find that by using, say, a vermiculite to cover the seeds and watering by standing the pot in a tray of water rather than spreading water around the top.
Right, so yeah, you're not getting that very wet conditions on the top, which is one of the major causes, isn't it? If seedlings get a bit wet, then they quickly damp off. So I mean, there isn't. I mean, I agree with Lynn that you know, something like SB Plant Invigorator, because there isn't another chemical, Elspeth, that has replaced it. It was copper based, and copper fungicides have all been banned. I'm not sure whether it was a ban because they were dangerous or whether they were just sort of discontinued, to be fair, but there isn't a fungicide available to amateur gardeners for that use. So I think it is just getting, as our experts have said, the right cultural conditions. Don't get them over wet, don't get them too hot, because they can get very lush and soft then, and just keep your eye on them really, and don't sow too thickly. That's often a problem. People sow really thickly and then they're so tight together. Just nice and so thinly so they've got room between them. So good luck with that. And there's still plenty of time, of course, to sow tomatoes if you haven't got your seeds in at the moment.
Thanks for watching. Enjoy your gardening, subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page.